Make no mistake, Donald Trump is no friend of labor. Let's be really clear about that, no matter what the noise is out there. He is no friend of labor. Just look at the record. Instead of his rhetoric, look at the record.
Breaking this morning, some of the nation's largest unions are launching a new Get Out the Vote effort to support Vice President Harris. It comes on the heels of Harris's trip to a Michigan union hall yesterday. And the effort starts, not coincidentally, in Detroit, where early in-person voting begins at the top of the hour. Joining us now is the president of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Lee Saunders, as well as the president of the American Federation of Teachers, Randi Weingarten.
Good morning. It is good to see you both. Randi, when you have the ex-president talking about how he wants to dismantle the Department of Education, how motivating is that for your members?
Well, it's huge. First off, thank you for having us and having us together. But it's huge. And yesterday he doubled down because he basically, first he said he wanted to get rid of the Department of Education and not have the feds involved at all. You know, and all the money that we get rid of it, cut it for disabled kids, cut it for poor kids, cut it for kids going to college. And then yesterday he said he wanted to control education. And so if there's a school that does something he doesn't like, he's going to close it down or he's going to defund it. So banning books, censoring history. I mean, what's happening is my members understand that what that is not only a fear of knowledge, but a stripping of the ladder of opportunity. And they are really excited about this race. They're out all over the country. We're on a bus for the last 47 days, and they understand the stakes of this election.
Lee, it's a very dynamic race for sure. But there are some interesting, I think, trend lines that have emerged in the conversation between not just the presidential campaigns in the unions, but between the leadership of the unions and the members, the rank and file members themselves. You've got, AP reporting unions face a moment of truth in the state of Michigan. Many Midwestern communities once core to the labor movement have shifted to the right in recent decades, often in response to economic concerns such as deindustrialization and the removal of trade barriers. You also have Vox reporting by 2004 college graduates were more Democratic than working class voters, and Donald Trump's conquest of the GOP accelerated this realignment. The rightward drift of America's working class disconcerted progressives who generated a variety of ideas for reversing it. So you have this rightward shift of the country. Those of us who have been in this space for a while have said that the country tends to be a little bit more center-right. That seems to really manifested itself in the response in this political cycle between the union leadership that is moving in one direction seemingly and the rank and file members who are at least standing up and saying, we're with this guy. How do you account for some of that? How do you address that as union leaders to sort of hold the line for a presidential candidate who, as Kamala Harris said at the very beginning, is more aligned with you in her policies than Donald Trump's record would demonstrate to rank and file members?
I think it's real simple, Michael, and what we've got to do and what we are doing is we're going back to basics. And we're talking with our members every single day, those one-on-one conversations, meeting them at the doors, going to the work sites, and educating them about the importance of this election. Now, labor is not a monolithic institution. We have Democrats, we have Republicans, independents, conservatives, progressives, but it is our responsibility as leaders to educate our folks and then listen to what they have to say as far as what their concerns are and what needs to be done to improve their lives and the lives of those living within their communities. And that's exactly what we're doing. Our labor program across the country just did not start 2 or 3 weeks ago. We've been doing this now for a year. We're knocking on doors constantly. We just don't go into an area when it's campaign season, but we're communicating and talking with our members, educating them about the issues. And then they will make an educated choice. But we have a responsibility to talk about the differences that exist between Kamala Harris and Trump. And there are extreme differences, make no mistake about it. And when you talk to them, they understand it and they get it.
Here's Vice President Harris just talking about unions and why people should thank a union and be grateful for unions, even if they may not be a union member.
Everywhere I go, I tell people, you may not be a union member, but you better thank unions for the 5-day work week, for sick leave, for paid family leave and vacation time. Collective bargaining benefits our entire nation. Our entire nation. Because here's the deal, when union wages go up, everybody's wages go up. When union workplaces are safer, everyone's workplace is safer. So thank a union.
You know, as you were speaking, Lee, it made me think about the fact that where Vice President Harris gave these remarks yesterday was at a General Motors plant in Grand River. It was Grand River Assembly Plant. That is a plant that is going to get a $500 million grant under the Inflation Reduction Act, right? And that's so it can transition from doing gas to electric vehicles. But if Donald Trump gets his way, if he's elected, he has promised to rescind the funds from the Inflation Reduction Act. That's 650 jobs. So when you talk about the difference, I could imagine for the both of you that going out there and talking to union membership is also about just boiling it down to the key specifics.
You have to be real with people, and you can't speak in platitudes. Union members are real. They work every day to basically make ends meet and want a better life for their family. And what Lee and myself and also Becky Pringle, April Verrett, frankly, the entire leadership of the union movement is doing is we're talking to people, just like in an organizing campaign. We're talking about the facts. You know, this is a trust election, unfortunately, not a truth election. But we're getting the details out to people. And think about what Donald Trump's era. 200,000 manufacturing jobs were lost. Think about what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has done. They have recreated a manufacturing base, an industrial base in this state. And what we're trying to do is make sure that they're good union jobs and that we can train and skill up kids and young adults to get those jobs.
And I would just say this, and Randy is right about that. But I would say, look what Donald Trump is proposing to do, or his allies and friends. You look at this 900-page document, Project 2025, that would decimate union members in the public sector. They would no longer have a seat at the table. We could no longer represent them if that comes into fruition. And if you look at what he has said about overtime payments, and if you look at what he has said about, well, striking workers should be fired, you know what? When we talk to our members about that and to working class people about that, they react in a way saying that can never happen. We cannot let that happen. We have come too far. We've come too far, and we're not going to go backwards on our rights being taken away from us. And that's what we've got to communicate that every single day, every single day.